So first, I want to acknowledge what a great day this has been. I think I can see all the presentations that Richard, and I think I want to thank Dan and the planning team for organizing such a great day and a weekend, and for putting me after Brad and before dinner. I also want to just acknowledge that one of the real privileges of being superintendent is working with great staff at the park. I want to thank Elissa Shala and Carmen Kraus for helping me to pull together this presentation. Those of you who come to this every year know that I wasn't here personally last year. I had a medical issue that prevented me from traveling, and of course we had some significant a wave of significant challenges in the federal government last year that we were dealing with as well. So that's why it's really especially meaningful for me to be here personally again. GTS is always provides us with an opportunity for us to be together as a community of people who love the Colorado River, love the Grand Canyon National Park, and that's important for all of us. I think this is a moment for us to realign, to share information, and to support one another, and particularly in challenging times. So, over the years, many of you have told me that you appreciate the haikus that I write as I spend time in the canyon. So we've scattered a few in this, including this one. As the sun rises, the shadows come out to play, and I get to work. I have the privilege every day of walking to work on the Southern Trail. I see the Grand Canyon every day, and that's really important to me because the canyon gives me an opportunity. It guides me to go with its flow, and that relates to the theme of this program: going with the flow, resilience for Grand Canyon National Park and the Colorado River resources. It's a quiet ritual. I walk to work, a chance to observe how the light hits the cliffs, how the river looks from above, how visitors are experiencing the park, and how much change, challenge, and opportunity. Because change always comes with opportunity. Flow through the canyon every single day. That daily walk reminds me that resilience isn't something that we talk about only in tough moments. It's something that we practice constantly, every step we take. And resilience is something that all of you embody as well. Guiding on the Colorado River isn't simply navigating rapids. It's adapting to shifting conditions, managing competing needs, protecting resources, caring for people, and doing it with skill and patience. It's reading the water and responding with attention. As a park, we are striving to do the same thing. And I want to thank you for being here, for the work you do, and for the spirit of stewardship you bring to the Colorado River season after season. I'm looking forward to today's conversation because we'll have question and answer at the end of this, and the opportunity we just have to dialogue every year. So this afternoon, I'll share a series of updates from around the park, progress we've made, challenges we're confronting, and where we're focusing our energy in the months ahead. And because, next. Helicopters fly deep into the Grand Canyon, men's grit wings for now. Replacing the Trans-Canada water line is our top infrastructure deferred maintenance priority. And the project is 90% complete with 2.5 years into a 3-year project. We aim to begin pumping to the South Rim this October. Next. Since construction began in March 2023, we accomplished a number of major milestones, adding 2 million gallons of storage in our water tank farm, completing distribution lines along the Bright Angel Trail, Phantom Ranch, and installing the Bright Angel Creek intake. Next. Many of you have witnessed on the river the construction of the new Phantom Ranch water and wastewater treatment plant. This building is now stone-clad and painted to blend in with a natural and historic setting. Design choices respect both function and place. Next. Inside, it's a modern, state-of-the-art, efficiency-focused facility designed for dependable water and wastewater treatment. Better infrastructure will mean a more reliable service year-round for park visitors and residents. Construction has required extended trail closures, and I want to thank you and all of our visitors for your patience and adaptability as crews continue to work on our trails. Waterline replacement along the river trail has been especially challenging, but we continue to push forward safely and deliberately. Next. Geohazards and collapse section of the river trail required removal, reconstruction, and utility installation, resulting in significant delays. So part of the trail just fell into the canyon as we were excavating the water line. So we've rebuilt, basically we built part of the canyon. Next. We anticipate reopening Plateau Point, the River Trail, and the Silver Bridge on June 30th. The final phase for the Trans-Canyon Waterline will rehabilitate the waterline from Roaring Springs Pump House to Cottonwood Campground late through next winter. Next. Bison on the road, leading toward the North Rim. Patience, more patience. The 2025 Dragon Bravo fire now stands as a turning point, making the beginning of a thoughtful and committed recovery effort for the North Rim. For context, the Dragon Bravo fire was lightning caused on July 4, 2025, west of the North Rim developed area. Fire burned into September, totaling almost 150,000 acres. About 71,000 of those acres were in the park. Next. The fire underscored how interconnected this place is, ecosystems, and people, and how overwhelming change can feel. More than 100 buildings were lost, including the historic Grand Canyon Lodge and essential visitor facilities. Wastewater and water systems were also destroyed and were damaged by the fire. Severe burn scars compromised slope stability along the North Kaibab Trail. That increases debris flow risk and requires caution, as Hannah Chen was reported earlier today. Thanks. A DOI BEAR team assessed post-fire risks to park resources and values, and their work set the foundation for emergency actions, as Patrick reported earlier today. BEAR team evaluation revealed that the fire burned soils in a predominantly low to moderate severity mosaic pattern, reflecting both the fire-adapted nature of the landscape and the effectiveness of long-term fuels management in the park and in the forest. The quick summary of the fire, as Patrick alluded to, is about 1 to 2% were identified as high severity burn, about 24%, this is in the park, a moderate severity burn, and the rest in either low or no severity burn. So notwithstanding the personal trauma of those who were on the North Rim at the time and those who are closely connected to the North Rim, and notwithstanding the significant infrastructure challenges, the fire actually had a reasonably healthy impact on the environment. Next. Their team recommended a suite of emergency stabilization and rehabilitation action focused on public safety, water system protection, invasive plant management, hazard tree mitigation, and infrastructure stabilization. Specialists evaluated the lodge and cabins, and rapid stabilization proceeded under a categorical exclusion. The 43-day government shutdown limited real-time updates, but critical work continued during that shutdown. We're now scoping a project to assess remaining lodge elements and feasibility for reuse. These actions represent the first steps in recovery, bridging immediate post-fire risks with long-term restoration plan. The North Rim recovery team is being established to focus on this work in collaboration with regional and national planning specialists. Matt Jenkins in the park is leading that work, and we're working closely with Coconino County. Planning for the future of the North Rim, including redevelopment, will occur through a comprehensive process aligned with opportunities for public input. So I will make sure that Lynn is aware of all of the public engagement opportunities and communicate that to you, but we will be engaging with the public on North Rim redevelopment beginning this year. For the 2026 season, our approach is simple. We're opening what we can, where we can, when we can. Plan to reopen the North Rim and Upper North Kaibab Trail is to open on May 15th, and details are available in the National Park Service information table over here. We issued a press release earlier this week announcing our plan to open on May 15th. Waterfalls for now, through time, nearly forever, but for how long? In the months since the Dragon Bravo fire, we've been reminded that resilience is about what comes after, how we learn, adapt, and move forward together. Our science and resource management program is doing that work daily, and Hannah and Rob talked about that earlier today. Vegetation regrowth began within weeks in many areas, within weeks of the start of the fire. It started during the fire. Post-fire forage benefits to Kaibab Plateau bison herd is something that we're looking at. I just want to say I spent time during the fire flying over the fire, landing in the North Rim, walking through some of the damaged areas with incident command leadership. And I saw that new growth during the fire. I saw bison lowing during the fire, even in the Dragon Bravo fire, in the Dragon Bravo drainage area where the fire started. And I saw a flock of turkey eating some of that new growth. And that just reminded me that nature has much to teach us about going with the flow and resilience. Our wildfire team recovered 11 bison collars and deployed another 5 immediately after the fire. This is something that we do to study bison. We do this with some of the other megafauna species in the park. These data sets that we collected will offer the first comprehensive look at bison behavior in wildfire affected landscapes and will guide future management actions in the park. In recent years, dye tracing has taught us about groundwater paths from North Rim sinkholes to deep canyon springs. Again, Hannah alluded to that earlier today. As you saw this morning from Hannah, post-fire, we're monitoring potential impacts to groundwater surface runoff and flash flood behavior. This research guides focused water quality mitigation. Tomorrow, you'll hear from Fisheries Program Manager Lead Emily Amana about the potential benefits that ash laden debris flows in the Bright Angel Creek watershed are having on non-native trout populations. I am not alone as I manage the Grand Canyon. Chubb swims with me. Post-fire science shows how interconnected our work is, and it reminds us that going with the flow means understanding how every change on the landscape ultimately moves downstream, shaping our broader responsibility to stewardship of the Colorado River and rapid environmental changes. As we heard from Wayne and Rob earlier today, basin states and federal partners are working towards new operating guidelines, and consensus is increasingly difficult because the stakes are increasingly high. This uncertainty directly affects our ability to steward the river and may limit future use of tools like high flow experiments and cool mix flows that Rob alluded to earlier today that protect both resources and recreation. HFEs remain one of our most effective tools for building and maintaining sandbars, improving camping beaches for river runners, and protecting cultural resources through the wind-blown transport of sediment. Cool mix, releasing cold water through the Glen Canyon Dam bypass tubes is helping prevent invasive smallmouth bass spawning. It's currently our most effective measure to protect native fish, like the federally listed humpback chub. With poor snowpack and declining reservoir levels, many of the management tools we've implemented may become increasingly constrained, with direct implications for river running. If low water conditions persist, recreation on the Colorado River will have to adapt. So I want to thank Brad for showing the photographs and the video of the 1,000 to 2,000 levels, because that may not be in your immediate future, but it may be in your future. So practice your portaging skills, and maybe we'll commit to getting Wayne on the river at 1,000, 2,000. He can practice his portaging skills. Navigating down the canyon zigzagging trails, the Milky Way's light. Amid these broader uncertainties, we're applying the North Rim mindset along the river corridor, do what we can, where we can, when we can. I want to turn now to some of the tangible work our staff is carrying out on the river to protect resources, support safe recreation, and respond to changing conditions. CRNP work planning integrates sites and beaches identified by Grand Canyon River Guides. You've contributed through your feedback, and that helps us to target the work underway this week and throughout the year. This trip includes recurring vegetation maintenance, initiating new mitigation, and assessing campsite feasibility in beaches flagged by GCRG. Small, consistent actions add up across the river corridor. If you camp at Carnitas this season, you'll likely see newly planted willows from the late February LTAP invitation trip. They're a visible marker of restoration in motion. With temperatures rising and any help watering these new willows would be appreciated when you're on the river. So I'll thank you in advance for lending a hand. These small acts support the resilience.
Ed, we lost sound.
I think we're back.
Okay, we're back.
We're
Thank
back?
you. Yes.
All right. This week, our crew is also doing maintenance work along Rapid Scout trails at Hants, Crystal, and Lava Falls. Completing trail work at Nankoweap Delta, North Bass, Tapeats Creek, and Deer Creek, and assessing feasibility for a Little Nankoweap camp access trail. Their work enhances safety and access. In the past year, we've mitigated social trailing, installed new signposts, and printed a revised walking tour brochure of Encore Delta. These efforts promote respect, informed visits to a sensitive site. The Encore Delta working tour brochure was a multi-year effort elevating tribal voices and indigenous art to share modern meaning alongside history. Meaningful engagement with the Grand Canyon's 11 traditionally associated tribes remains a top priority for the park. 11 tribes call Grand Canyon their homeland, our coexistence. Respect of the river includes honoring archaeological sites and enabling tribal visits to sacred places for traditional and ceremonial purposes. This requires us occasionally to temporarily close sites like Deer Creek, but these closures are brief but significant. And I want to thank you for your cooperation during these trail closures. Partnered with the Yavapai Apache Nation on youth river trips over the past 2 seasons that builds direct, lasting connections to place. Those experiences help cultivate future stewards. We're also advancing vegetation research with the Hualapai Tribe and the Southern Paiutes, and also coordinating with Desert Botanical Garden on that effort. Blending cultural knowledge and science guides restoration of plants central to tribal lifelines. As we look across everything happening, from the North Rim recovery to river management, to the day-to-day work happening in the park, one thing becomes clear. Resilience isn't abstract. It's a steady, collaborative effort. Season after season, we show up for the canyon and each other. I'm grateful to the professionalism, adaptability, and stewardship that each of you brings to the Colorado River, and a time of real uncertainty. Your partnership is one of the strongest constants we have, and it will continue to shape how we navigate whatever comes next. It takes all of us. Greedy Raven thinks the canyon is all his courtships on the ground. So I want to thank you for everything you do, for the care you bring to the canyon, and for the respect you show to the landscape, visitors, and tribal communities. I look forward to another season of working together, and as always, to going with the flow as we chart the way forward. Thank you.
We've got 10 minutes of questions.
So,
if you're okay.
Yeah, so I will take as many questions as you will throw at me before dinner. So
we'll do about 10 minutes, and then you're staying with us for dinner.
I will stay for a little bit, but I have to head back to South Rim shortly after that. So, any questions? All the way in the back. Thank you. Sorry, I couldn't hear that. How do I expect the North to do what? No, so you're asking about the North Rim Road, right? So Highway 67 to the North Rim. We actually have had as it's pointed out a couple of times this morning, we've had a very light snow season on the North Rim. We entered into an agreement with Arizona's Department of Transportation for them to plow the road leading into the developed area. So the road is passable and we're using it. So I don't anticipate that the road will be a problem. There has been some damage. So what I should step back for a second and be really clear about what's open on the North Rim on Main 15, what we expect to be open. So first, our highest priority in terms of being ready for the North Rim is to open the North Pipeline Trail because it's such a popular trail, particularly with rim-to-rim hikers. That's a really important consideration for the local economy on the Arizona Strip. We'll also open whatever trails, whatever other trails we can open on the North Rim. The scenics will be open, so the road to Point Imperial and Cape Royal will be open. And at some point, it may not be May 15th, but at some point this year, we will open the campgrounds for private. Campgrounds were not affected by the fire. And that gets to your road question because there has been some damage to the area around some of the roads. And so it'll be important for people to follow speed limits and just to be careful driving in the North Rim. There might have been a second piece to that question that I didn't capture, but I'm going to move on to the next question. Anybody back here? So the question was, can I speak to the decision-making process of the location of the water treatment plant? So sure. So we have an entire planning team. We're working with a team of park and regional-based planners for the treatment process, and we're just looking at a number of things, including what the future of the North Rim might look like. Right, because we could redevelop. It would just be very general. We could redevelop exactly what it was, or we could redevelop and expand in capacity, depending on how, and that'll be informed by the public engagement process. So that'll help us inform what the water and wastewater treatment for the North Rim will look like, and that'll inform where it'll go. Also in the back. Oh, are you talking about the Phantom Ranch? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that decision was made before I was superintendent, so I don't know that I can speak to it directly. I'd have to look at the record to find out why we selected that location. Any other questions?
Just on that comment about the art psychologists who used video this morning, that was one of the most phenomenal presentations of science in the general public that I have ever seen. And we need to give her a TLS. It was marvelous.
Yeah, thank you. So for those of you who couldn't hear, the comment was praising the presentation that Hannah Chambliss gave earlier today. And, you know, I couldn't agree. I mean, I started off talking about what a privilege it is as superintendent to work with talented staff. You've seen, and over the course of time, you've seen staff rotate through this gathering. People like Hannah are within the park staff is filled with people like him. You heard earlier today from Rob Billerbeck, the new chief of science. He leads a remarkable team of scientists. You'll hear from Emily Amana tomorrow. She's part of that team. It's just tremendous benefit for me to lean on experts. I'm not an expert in anything in the park. I'm an expert in managing it, I guess, but I lean on all the experts in the park to help me make good, sound decisions. And Hannah's one of those stars.
Mm.
Has money been earmarked to rebuild the lodge at the North Rim?
So the question was, has money been earmarked for the rebuilding lodge on the North Rim? So not yet. There is, for those of you who understand the federal appropriations process, it takes time to get money, but the national park, so the park, National Park Service, Department of the Interior are committed to working with Congress to get an appropriation as quickly as possible, and I'm aware that those discussions are going on. And we're also the Park Service has been able to pull together funding from multiple sources to put a down payment on the restoration work on the North Rim. So we've been able to get around $20 million so far to do some of the restoration, the remediation work into the restoration. And Grand Canyon Conservancy, others have mentioned Grand Canyon Conservancy before. They are raising money for North Rim redevelopment as well. One of the ideas that I have, and I think this gets to the critical partnership that GCC has with the park. We will get money for redevelopment of the North Rim. It'll include rebuilding the lodge. It probably won't include something like somebody showed in a presentation earlier today that the Grand Canyon Lodge 1.0 had an observatory. Grand Canyon Lodge 2.0 did not. I think federal government will spend money to rebuild the Grand Lodge. It probably won't spend enough money to rebuild an observatory on the Grand Lodge, but GCC can help us with that. So that's part of what we're going to be engaging with the public is that something that resonates with people. Park is really leaning into our dark skies programming. One of the cool things we're going to do later this year, in addition to all the other cool dark skies programming we have, is we're partnering with the Grand Canyon Railway to pilot in September a night sky train. So an experience of being on the train at night, stopping, getting the dark skies programming, and if we could enhance our dark skies activities on the North Rim with an observatory in the Grand Lodge 3.0, that's something we're going to explore.
We'll do about 2 more questions.
Any update on the boat museum?
A question on the boat museum. Yes. So we've been looking at opportunities to redevelop the South of Historic Village and have a number of ideas of what to do. There are about 4 or 5, depending on how you count, buildings that we would repurpose for enhanced visitor services at the South End Historic Village. That's a place that we've been looking for. Grand Canyon Conservancy is engaged with us in the planning process for that, and eventually we'll raise money for that. I just had a conversation today with Kurt Slaughter. Some of you may know. He has an idea that just didn't occur to me that maybe we could repurpose an existing building at East Ferry for a boat museum, partnering with Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. So I've committed to Kurt to work with him to explore that opportunity and engage GCC. That's probably a faster path to a boat museum than the historic village idea that we've been exploring, because there's going to be a whole lot of planning and fundraising to redevelop the historic South Rim Village. So we're going to explore that as soon as Monday. That idea.
Last question.
Last question.
How much of an economic hit has the park taken because of the fire on the North Rim? I know businesses in the area have had huge impact.
Yeah, so the businesses in the area have taken a significant hit, and we're talking to them about the ideas that we're managing the North Rim toward. The park itself didn't take, in terms of in the moment revenues, a huge hit, right? I mean, it's a huge loss for the infrastructure that we've got to replace. But in terms of the park's ongoing budget, the North Rim is not exactly a loss leader, but it breaks even, more or less. So it hasn't been a huge hit on the fund budget. All right, thank you all.